Hello. So today I wanted to recap some trades I took today on US 30, the Dow Jones. And I wanted to record these trades because these were losses that I took today. And it's as a trader or an inspiring trader, it's important to always record your losses more so than your wins, right? It's important to record your wins too and make note of your wins, but it's more so important for you to take note of your losses. So I'm recording this video to take note of my losses. If you can gain something from this, that's great. But just kind of going over what I seen and what I was thinking when I took these losses. First, looking at this trade, I really don't remember me looking from the hour standpoint. I know that I looked overall to see what the market had done. And going on the lower time frames, this is the 30-minute, the 15-minute. I noticed we had this impulsive move to the downside here at 9:30. And I was expecting the market to do something similar on the following day, which is today, Wednesday. So on Wednesday, today, November 5th, 2025, the market made an impulsive move to the upside. Now, what I did not consider at the time, and I will explain in just a second, was that we had this gap in price here. That's what this purple line is, and this purple line. That's a box delineating the gap in price, marking the gap in price from the week before, which was when the market closed October 24th, Friday. Didn't consider that. And I was just looking at this impulsive move in price because I was expecting higher moves because we had already made a lower move here at 5 a.m. the previous day Tuesday, and we had also traded back into that area at 9:30 between 9 at 9:30 the previous day. So from here, I was expecting the market to go higher. But as you can see on Wednesday, we're going to get into Wednesday. This is Tuesday, Asian session. But Wednesday, when the market began to open for the new day, that we had this consolidation here. And we created this low here. After this low and this low, I was thinking that, and this impulsive move higher, that the market was now going to take off, which it did eventually, but we're going to get to this point. So when the market made that impulsive move to the upside, I was looking for the silver bullet. And the silver bullet, I was considering at 10 o'clock a.m. And the market did trade back down into this impulsive move that was created at 9:45. But when it traded back down into this 9:45 fair value gap that's here, that's here, this 9:45 fair value gap, it traded back into that at 10 o'clock. When it traded back into this, I did not consider previous week's fair value gap. So support was holding here. Resistance was holding here. Resistance was holding here, and it traded back down to take out this low. Okay, so that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the impulsive move, not considering that this was the lower spectrum, the lower end of the previous week, new week opening gap. So then it traded down and took out this low. I was surprised. I took that. It was a nice size loss, but I took that. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's going to fill in this gap and then trade to the upside. I took another buy at 1020, really around 1030, I believe. I took my next trade around 1030, placed my stop loss here. But again, it began to take out this stop loss. So after that stop loss was taken, I started to look for buys. And around 1050, I decided to enter for a buy. And my stop loss was 1050. I entered for the buy. My stop loss was actually around that 1050 candle. So I entered on the 1050 candle, and my stop loss was on the 1050 candle. But again, what did it do? It took out that low as well. Now, at this point, I was no longer looking at my charts because it was outside of my time frame, outside of my trading window. And we can see at 11:20, it began to reverse and trade to the upside, which was the move I was looking for. But again, it was outside of my trading time zone, so I just was not at the charts at that time. And the market began to trade up. Now, what I learned from this trade is that the market, and this is US 30 we're talking about, this is the Dow Jones we're talking about, and it is more fickle. It is more, can be perceived as more manipulated than the other markets, but I don't think it's more manipulated. It's just the way that when it moves, this is how it moves. It can be very deceiving, right? But I prefer to trade the Dow Jones. So when the market took my lows here, it was only later that I realized, because I didn't have this box here. I didn't have this here showing that this is actually the lower quadrant of the previous week's gap in price. So, in hindsight, it made perfect sense that the market traded down and respected this until a significant point in price, which was here, taking out that order block. And then it traded to the upside. Now, I'm really recording this video for me to record my losses and learn from my losses. And again, if you're an inspiring trader or you've been trading for a while, you want to record your losses, especially the way I was taking losses today, like back to back to back. And I haven't taken losses back to back in a while. I'm still working towards my goal, but back to back losses I have not taken in a while. So this trade was worth recording, worth documenting. Some losses I understand, like, oh, okay. But this particular loss, I really needed to record it because it is on the Dow Jones and I do need to understand it. And that is pretty much for this one. Again, the market respected the lower quadrant of this gap in price, which we have here. And you always want to draw that out. And the following week, it did just that. And it respected it. But again, it would have been great to get in on this trade. Had I looked at the higher time frame, I probably would have noticed that this fair value gap was respected from previous market session, Asian session, from Tuesday 4th, 2025. But I didn't. I was trying to enter on the lower time frame. I was in the lower time frame zone. And it literally traded all the way down to this order block of this fair value gap and then reversed. So I wasn't wrong, but my entries were early based on certain things. And it's the market is manipulated. And I say this with the confidence of ICT's concepts. What the man teaches is golden. Even when I take losses, what he teaches is golden. I want to say that one more time. And no, I'm not Dr. Umar, but what he teaches is golden. Even when I take losses, what he teaches, ICT, Michael Huston, is golden. And I'm just learning from my losses because he doesn't even trade US 30 or the Dow Jones. And if we actually go to the instrument he does trade, which is the NASDAQ moves beautifully. And what's interesting is that the weeks before, I did trade NASDAQ. But if we look here, 9:30, we have that trade. We traded down under these lows at 9:35. We begin to go to the upside at 9:40, still moving to the upside. 9:45, we're still moving up to the upside. We have 9:50 here. And if we look at 9:20, that silver bullet is created and it moves to the upside. And that is NASDAQ. NASDAQ moved perfectly, but I wasn't looking at NASDAQ for whatever reason. And I was stuck on the Dow Jones for today, for November 5th, 2025 on a Wednesday. Now, I do want to make mention that there was news today. There was news at 7:15. There was news at 7:15 a.m. and there was news at 9 o'clock a.m. And Trump also spoke at 12 p.m. So there was some manipulative news that was happening. Well, some news that was happening. I won't say manipulative news, but just news in the market that was happening. And NASDAQ moved in a way to where if I had have been looking at NASDAQ, I would have taken a lot less losses and probably would have had that win I was looking for. But it's okay. US 30 is my pet project. Is what I choose to trade. It's a little harder than any other instrument, to be honest. But yeah, I wanted to make note of this trade. If you learn something from it, great. If you have questions, I will try to get them answered if you do. But definitely this is more so for me as a trader to record my trades, record my losses, and make sure that I'm always taking note of what I did right and what I did wrong. And that is it for this one. If you have watched to the end, thank you for watching. And we will take a look at what happens tomorrow. Now, with the market trading back here, I would actually be looking for a buy and trading up to this high right here. That's something that I will be looking for, possibly. But for now, that is it for this video. Enter the trade, perfect silver bullet, but some of them are just losses. Losses you have to take. Losses that you have to learn from. And that is it for this one. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful and helping you see another view of the silver bullet. And if it was helpful in any way, if you could go ahead and hit that like button, and I will see you in the next one.